Now, you may have noticed that we do a lot of videos about beginner motorcycles. It's sort of our bread and butter, but a lot of times it comes down to a bit like, don't buy these bikes if you don't want to be a colossal dork, or buy these motorcycles if you want to get laid, that sort of thing. Though, it's worth pointing out that no motorcycle is gonna get you laid. Laid up in a hospital bed, maybe, but not like you're gonna garner the attention of throngs of eligible bachelorettes ready to throw themselves at you. Like we always say here, a bike is much more likely to get you in the crosshairs of other dudes on motorcycles, but today, we're putting all that aside and taking a look at the 5 best motorcycles you can spend your hard-earned dollars on. We've got one in each category, from track and sport bike riders, all the way through to cruiser boys and retro boys and adventure touring boys as well. The motorcycles on this list are 100% clammy dude approved and won't get you clowned on. They're solid motorcycles that in some cases might even outperform more expensive bikes. You can keep them for the rest of your riding career, and as an alternate to your big hyper naked or $20,000 dad bike or Turbo Busa or whatever you graduate to, because no matter how much your skills develop, these bikes will still have something to offer. Let's dive right in today with the one for the sport and track riders, because I know that's what you're really here for. Hopefully this will finally shut up those people who say I hate Kawasaki, but somehow I doubt it. Whatever, I'm just gonna power through. It's the Ninja 400. But Yami, the CBR 500R. No. Up. I'm gonna stop you right there. You're wrong. You're as wrong as anyone has ever been in life before, maybe even wronger somehow. You know what? Go away. Your old Papa Yam can't even bother to look upon you any longer. I am mad, but I'm also deeply disappointed. We've started our holy crusade against the CBR 500R riders, and we will not rest until they all sell their bikes and get something else. Alright, now that those people are gone, let's get down to business. The Ninja 400 is the correct answer to any question involving beginner sport bikes. It's got so much to offer at a perfect price point. Let's get some specs on this thing. The humble little 399cc parallel twin is putting down 48 perfectly compliant A2 horsepower and 29 foot-pounds of orange juice while tipping the scales at a svelte 366 pounds wet and ready to ride. That's a lot of go juice and not a lot of weights. With an average sized rider, you're looking at a little over 520 pounds or less, and the engine is more than capable of getting you up to speed surprisingly quick. It's not going to snap your head back, but it'll outrun just about any other beginner bike. The seat height is also very approachable at only 30.9 inches, meaning if you can't flat foot the bike, you'll be able to get at least 1 foot down. But here's what it gets good. The bike is already about as light as my race bike, but you can get it even lighter. If you're looking for a track bike that'll teach you everything you need to know, dust up on big bikes in the corner, and run forever regardless of the abuse you put it through, the Ninja 400 is for you. Sure, the RC390 has more torque, but it pops out of gear in weird places and is just kind of unreliable with the head gasket. And yes, the R3 has a more sport bike-esque power band with all the power up at the top, but a Ninja 400 will whoop up on pretty much everything everywhere in that category. Whether it's a new race plastics, power parts, or tunes, the Ninja has a huge aftermarket of track day mods. If you're looking to get into racing, don't. It's usually not worth it, but if you're dead set on it, the Ninja is very competitive. If you just want to go to the track on the weekend and have fun, the Ninja is a perfect learning tool, or if you just want to have a good time in a back road with your buddies, the Ninja is a comfy and playful bike. All for only $5,599 with ABS. This is one bike on the list with no honorable mentions because it is just that good. What more could you want? Also, I have it on good authority that the Ninja 400 will run air-cooled with no coolant in it for 8 hours at an endurance event. Don't ask me how I know.
There are few things in life as exquisite as an Aprilia Tuono V4 factory. Maybe a fine wine on sunset at a beach far away somewhere in an island, or perhaps rowing a small boat down a river and enjoying yourself, but none of them will be as thunderous and as throaty as the V4 soundtrack out of this machine. In case you guys forgot, this is a giveaway motorcycle. April 22nd is going to be the last day you can get entered to win this machine. Use the code TUONO4X over on shop.yaminoob.co to get yourself 4X entries on every dollar that you spend. You can get yourself helmets, gear, parts, tires, merch, anything you want over there, anything you spend, you're gonna get 4X entries for every dollar to win this amazing motorcycle. I am very, very sad that this motorcycle is on its way out. It's been one of my favorite hyper naked motorcycles that we've given away, but we're replacing it with something pretty sweet, and you guys are not gonna wanna miss that. Hit the link down below to shop.yaminoob.co. Get yourself entered to win this bad boy.
Well, okay, maybe you want to go off-road. Okay, then you're going to want a dual sport, and wouldn't you know it, it's Honda's CRF 300L that you're just looking for. Let's get one thing out of the way first and foremost. Dual sports are ugly. There, I said it. If you go down the dual sport route, you are signing up for a life of explaining why your motorcycle looks like a mountain bike made sweet, sweet love to a praying mantis before having its head chopped off and eaten. They pretty much got dual sports figured out in the 80s and then just sharpened the lines up a bit for modern aesthetics, but one thing is the inexorable march of time has given us, besides crippling existential dread and back pain, is fuel injection. Yes, carbs do suck that bad, and if you don't think so, you've got a bad case of Stockholm Syndrome. You don't have to live that way anymore. The CRF doesn't have any of that BS in there. It's a 286cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine pumping out 27 horsepower and 20 foot-pounds of coconuts. I know that might not sound like a lot, but remember guys, you don't want an assload of power off-road. There's a common saying that anything over 20 horsepower is wheel spin anyways. It actually makes it a lot harder to ride. There's a reason why quote-unquote hopped-up dual sports are making about 50 horsepower. Hell, my Husqvarna 500 is basically in massive overkill and me compensating for something, but that's a video for another time. The key is weight, and at only 309 pounds, the CRF is one of the lightest beginner dual sports out there. It's not perfect. The rear suspension has a bit too much rebound in it, and it's not adjustable, which is a bummer, but as a beginner platform, it's pretty much perfect. I do want to shout out an honorable mention here is the Kawasaki KLX 300. It's not as premium, the suspension is a little bit squishier, but they're easier to find in dealerships now. The CRF is a bit cheaper, but they're both around $5,500, which is right in the butter zone for some dual sports. Hey, you want to know a secret? Do you love this Yami Noob ASMR right now? Should I whisper sweet nothings into your ear? No, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I'm giving away a CRF 300L right now. That's right, the best option for a beginner dual sport, and it could be yours for the taking. All you need to do is click the link down below and sign up on yaminoob.co. We recently revamped the whole experience on yaminoob.co, and we're giving you so much value that it should probably be illegal. If you sign up, you'll get 10% off all your purchases over on our shop. You'll get 10% off on your Twisted Road rentals, and if you're looking to buy a motorcycle, you'll get $300 off any purchase over at Eurocycle. Wow, Yami, you're so generous. Oh, my sweet little squid, I am just getting started. You'll get access to our Discord server. You'll be able to hang out with me and a bunch of other riders from all over the world. It's like a bike night that never ends. You'll be able to watch our Discord-only Yamcast live streams, win prizes, and get entered to win our giveaway bikes all at the same time. The only question you have to ask yourself is, why haven't you done it already? Click the link down below and get access to the best community for motorcyclists on the internet and a whole bunch of discounts and promotions all in one price. Number 3 today is for those of you who just want to chill out and enjoy the ride. That's right, I'm talking to you, my aspiring cruiser or cafe bro. Have you had your Kevlar-backed flannel jacket on the way, a built-well gringo hanging on the wall, leather driving gloves, and mirrored aviators ready to go? But what bike best fits this ensemble that you've collected? Well, it's gotta be a Bonneville, right? I know it's kind of a low-hanging fruit, but the more I ride Bonnies, the more I fall in love with them. They're great motorcycles with a timeless aesthetic, velvety smooth engines, a great sound, and plenty of all that important character. The only question is, which Bonneville? It's like the motorcycle version of Pokemon, you gotta catch them all. There's scramblers, sport bikes, street bikes, cruisers, all in the Bonnie line. It can be a little confusing, but the right call for the starter Bonnie is the Street Twin. It's using the 900cc 270-degree parallel twin, making 64 horsepower and 59 foot-pounds of, let's see, Torginos. Don't be worried if you think that's a little bit too much power. These engines are quite lazy in putting it down more than any other bike on this list. You'll be hard-pressed to find yourself overwhelmed by it. The reason why I would recommend this over other bikes in the category, like a Royal Enfield Interceptor or a Kawasaki W800, is because while the Bonnie nails the old-school aesthetic, it doesn't ride like a bike from a million years ago. It's got a properly set up suspension, quality brakes, and again, the engine is just so damn good. By comparison, the W800 is a bike from 2020 that is built the same way that they did back in the 80s, and the Enfield is a bike from 2020 that rides like a bike from 1942. Cue all the butthurt Royal Enfield fans now. An honorable mention for the cafe and cruiser crowd would have to go to the Sportster 1200, but only if you have to buy an American motorcycle. They're a unique riding experience, but they require a lot of mods on top of them to buy in price, which sucks because you can get a finished bike from Triumph and just ride the thing and it'll be faster than the Sportster. But if you do get a Sportster, the 1275 kit is really something, I tell you what. Number 4 is for the streakers, bohemians, exhibitionists, and nudists out there, the Suzuki SV650. I say that knowing that every single time we mention it on the channel, Josh has a shattering orgasm, but I'm gonna do it anyway. The SV650 is the right choice for a street naked bike because not only are you getting a reliable Ducati monster for half the price, but you're getting a bike that can do a lot of other things as well. I know I mentioned that it's a try-hard bike in my last list video, but I'll be damned if I couldn't come up with an alternative. The only thing I could come up with was a Duke 390, which is cheaper, has more features, and it's a plastic-covered beginner bike. The SV650 just feels a little bit nicer, more substantial. Also, let's face it, the SV doesn't look like a weird modern art installation like the Dukes do. It's just a classic motorcycle shape. If you're gonna go to the SV dark side, don't fall down the rabbit hole spending a bunch of money on mods and full conversions. Can an SV be a great track bike? Sure, but it takes a lot of time and work, and the Ninja 400 is kind of just better and cheaper. Can an SV650 make a good scrambler? Yeah, but dual sports are better and cheaper and lighter and better and cheaper. Did I say that? Just get the SV as a fun street bike and then brag online that you made the enlightened choice like all the other SV stands out there, and it is truly the S-tier bike of your dreams. Now, I saved the best for last today because I needed to give the other bikes some screen time. I mean, I couldn't single-handedly torpedo the motorcycle industry with the knowledge that I've gleaned, but I won't do that because the world just isn't ready for the wisdom I could impart. You, on the other hand, you've made it this far, and I know you're ready. You're ready to know the truth that there is, will be only one option for the best no-nonsense beginner bike, the Turbo Hayabusa. Before you sit there and type your comment that I've clearly gotten bored of talking about other bikes that don't spool boost and just wanted to shoehorn in some Busa shit posting here at the end of the video, hear my words. The Hayabusa makes 300 horsepower at the crank, sure, but only 270 ponies are reaching the ground, which isn't as bad as it could be. And guys, it only hits boost at 6,000 RPM, so all you need to do is have a little discipline and keep it low on the revs while you're learning. But yammy, then it's still making close to 200 horsepower. That's too much. To which I say, nut the fuck up, buttercup. That ain't no winner's attitude, and the Turbo Busa can only be ridden by winners. I also like to point out that with the properly built engine and lower compression pistons, it's making less power in the low revs. Also, since you're gonna want to lower the bike for those top speed pulls you'll get into a week after or so of learning, that's all you really need anyways before you move up. The seat height is close to 30 inches, meaning it's very easy to flat foot. Without the airbox and the full exhaust system, it's closer to 500 pounds, which is lighter than the Bonneville and the Sportster, and it's a bike you can grow with. The ergos are amenable for the daily ride, and after you spend $20,000, it's reliable. Sort of. I mean, it's like a 50-50 shot if it'll start and run, but that means you'll get plenty of experience wrenching on your bikes. Guys, the Turbo Hayabusa is the full package. Don't think, just buy, then be fast. Fact. The term lawn mullet means having a neatly manicured front yard and having an unmowed mess in the back. Goodbye.
Well, look at you. You've made it to the end of another Yammy Noob video. You should consider yourself pretty lucky because I have curated this one right over here for you to continue watching. It's probably just as good as the one you just saw. Unless you hated the one you just saw. I don't know, maybe leave me a comment down below about how much you hated it as well too. Or just keep watching this one. Make sure you keep watching Yammy Noob. Don't forget to keep watching Yammy Noob. That's the most important thing. Keep watching Yammy Noob.